just be patient. We have to be patient.
Why can't they get the blooming breeding right?
Does anyone know who won the Open?
Wasn't it that chap?
No, every paper you pick up.
Who is he anyway? I've never heard of him.
For Humpty, no one's interested in show jumpers with breeding.
Be interested in yours, Billy, by the cat out of the canary.
Excuse me. Rupert, darling, David Brandon's just arrived, and apparently he still hasn't found a horse.
Silly of me, but I thought he brought me to this party.
It's probably saving you till last.
Who is that with him now?
Oh, that's our hostess, Grania Pringle. Known to most of us as Grabby Winkle. She and Rube. Well, Rube used to ride her horses. Why don't you come and join us? Lavinia?
Champagne, please.
Helen?
Perrier, please.
Perrier, champagne?
Billy's great, isn't he? Unfortunately, my god-awful mother doesn't approve because Billy and Rupert are best buddies. She thinks that Rupert leads Billy astray, which I'm very happy to say he does, thank God.
Don't look now, but how are we doing?
Not very well, I'd say. She's just been introduced to that rather sexy young frog.
Guy de la Tour? Helen Macaulay?
It's very nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
I'm not quite sure why I'm doing this. Why am I doing this, Ruby?
Because you owe me one, darling.
Do I? Whatever for?
For all the ones they've given you.
You must be slipping. You wouldn't normally resort to this rather basic sort of tactic.
Well, this one's the subject of a small anti-post wager puppet. You know me, I don't like to lose. Ever.
If you win, as a reward, could I have some of the action?
Oh, certainly. Anytime your pants can wait.
Goody.
If you'll excuse me for a minute.
I think that's fine.
Yes, I think you're right. Grania Pringle's trying to get into Rupert's knickers and he doesn't appear to mind. What does he think he's doing?
Well, with any luck, he's being too clever by half.
I think we have liftoff. Helen. Helen. Something the matter?
Nothing that going home isn't going to cure.
Well, any particular reason why you're so keen to rush off?
Why don't you try asking our hostess?
Grania Pringle.
The woman who has been practically undressing you.
Heavens. Grania Pringle is helping me sell a horse to a mutual chum. If you're interested, I can't help it if people want to talk business. Come on, come downstairs and dance.
I think I would really rather just go home.
All right? Well, I'm quite knackered too, as a matter of fact. It's been quite a couple of days. Get your coat. I'll drive you home. We'll break the journey at Penscombe on the way. I'll give you the official guided tour.
I think I'd better run Miss Macaulay home, Rupert. You've been drinking ever since you won. And I can't afford to have you losing your license.
There's no problem. Helen can drive. She doesn't drink.
I don't drive either, I'm afraid.
Would you like to get your coat, Miss Macaulay?
You really didn't have to do this, you know.
I never do anything I don't have to, Miss Macaulay.
Oh, I see. You thought I needed rescuing, did you?
No. I thought you needed educating.
you say your name was?
Melanie.
My first pony was called Melanie. She was a chestnut, a terrific ride.
His mother was always too busy enjoying herself to look after him, so Nanny brought him up and apparently spoiled him dreadfully. Then, of course, his parents divorced. In fact, they both got remarried twice, his mother and his father, which goes a long way to explain why he treats you lot so badly. Women, that is. And don't let that little boy act fool you. He's out to pay you lot back in full for letting him down when he was a kid.
If you don't mind me saying, that all seems like pretty basic stuff to me.
Well, if you wanted one word to describe Rupert, I suppose basic would be it.
You know, a lot of the time, all some of us need is someone to help bring out the best in us. Maybe if the problem is that simple, then that's all that Rupert needs.
Why is it that women always think they can reform the unreformable?
Wow.
Practice makes perfect, as they say. And, I'm a great one for practice.
So anytime you want to knock up, and you're looking for a partner, but just for the record, lover, my name's Melanie, not Helen.
Which led to two leading members of the British team being sent home in disgrace.
If they're suspended, which I bet they will be,
There's the lorry.
that'll leave 2 spaces in the British team.
Fox.
We only won all 3 of our classes.
You didn't.
Murphy was brilliant.
Well done.
Hello.
Hello, gorgeous. Mwah.
Well, who's this? Wait and see.
But that still doesn't explain why we haven't seen you jumping down south. It's not as though you live up north. You're perfectly placed here. In fact, you're much handier for some of the big southern circuits and those godforsaken places where you've been competing.
I've not had the horses.
We have now. We've got Murphy.
That big grey I just saw you jumping.
He's still a novice.
Yeah, but you're not, given the way you handled him and seeing what you got him to do. Of course, the horse could be flattering you, but I think that's pretty unlikely, seeing he's still a novice. No. No, I would say it was high time you took on the opposition. The real opposition.
If you'll excuse me, I've got to see to the horses.
Do I sense a problem?
I'm afraid so.
Well, he can't think he's not good enough, surely.
It's nothing like that. It's something that happened a long time ago. Or rather, someone.
I'm glad you agreed to come tonight. Let's look at this as a new beginning.
I'm still not 100% certain whether, emotionally, whether I'm really up and running.
You know, there's only one way to find out. Rather like getting back on a horse after a bad fall. You know you have to do it, and in your heart of hearts, you know the sooner you get up, the better. Or you might not get back up at all. Perhaps this is the time for you to get back up.
You know, Rupert, maybe you're right. Maybe, perhaps, you're right. I hadn't really thought of it that way. Thank you.
What's the matter? What are you doing? Where are we going?
I suddenly remembered my mother's back from Antigua, so we can't use her house. Here's no bloody good. We'll just have to go back to Pensacum. I'm certainly not going to make love to you for the first time in the back of a car, particularly not this car.
No, Rupert. Not yet. I didn't mean straight away. I still need a little more time for this.
I haven't got any more time, Helen. Christ. Brittany this weekend.
Brittany? What does Brittany have to do with this?
I just meant I shall be away. We're jumping in Brittany for the weekend.
I thought that you had been suspended.
I have. But only from the British team and only for team events. If Malise suspends me for the whole of the season, I might just chuck it all in.
What on earth would you do if you did?
I'd probably take off around the world.
Please don't.
Look, why didn't you come over to Brittany the weekend? Rather a good show. It'll be fun.
I would love to, but I can't. I have to work this weekend.
You don't think I'm serious, do you?
Yes, I do. I think that's the whole trouble. I think perhaps we both are.
Well, think about it.
No.
It goes 200 bloody quid.
Did you tell him the whole story? Huh? How poor little Jippo Jake was bullied at school because his mother was the cook?
If you're going to make the
Jesus
team,
Christ.
Mr. Gordon needs to know what makes you tick. It's because I believe in you.
Let me explain something to you. I don't want to make it because somebody feels sorry for
You
me.
won't. Mr. Gordon said you were the most natural horseman he'd ever seen, and one of the most talented.
Okay, okay. He said I was talented?
Yes?
Okay, I'm sorry. Look, I just want to do it my way.
You will, Jake. Really, you will.
You must be pleased with the way Murphy's coming on.
I'm pleased with you too, Fat.
Still no score with Helen. Perhaps you're losing your touch. Perhaps you've met your match. Have your £200 ready, Roop.
How long do you reckon Malise will stand us down? Humphrey said he thought it could be for the season. Malise was heard to say his intention was to teach me a lesson.
Him and Miss America.
Well, don't count your chickens, chum. Still have till Sunday night.
Your quarry's still in England. Not even you can do it by telephone, chum.
Of course, dropping Rupert from the national team could also have the very opposite effect.
He's spoiled, and he needed a lesson.
But at what cost when he threatened to chuck it in altogether and take off around the world?
Solo?
I'm afraid so.
In that case, I'll reinstate him.
Thank you, Malise. I really mean that. And now, all I need to know is where they're competing in France.
You do know, I suppose, exactly what it is you're taking on, Helen.
No, of course I don't. Which of us ever does?
The show's at Avranches. The nearest airport's at Caen.
That new horse of Roop's, Macaulay. That's one nice horse.
It's a bloody circus horse.
It's a bloody Olympic horse.
Merci, mademoiselle.
I hope your horse is all right. I don't know how he jumped that wall.
Yes, he was a bit of a silly chump, wasn't he?
Yes, mais oui, and at the double.
The double. Yeah, well, he was a bit wrong there, too.
French crumpet doesn't count.
Mademoiselle.
Madame,
Well, I don't see Monsieur.
my husband is away on business.
Well, perhaps you'd like to have dinner tonight.
I always have dinner at night.
I meant with me.
No, thank you.
Well, what would you say to a little drink?
No, thank you.
Well, what would you say yes to?
There's your ticket, madam. And check-in is just around the corner. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
You make love a little better than you wrote.
I think you mean even better.
No, I don't. Be patient. First some champagne. And then I show you.
What's with the champagne? Isn't anyone's birthday?
Melise Gordon just rang. Jake's been selected.
He hasn't.
I have. I've been selected as reserve.
That's fantastic. That's great. Jake.
Well, I'm only the reserve.
Well, what did you expect? The captaincy? Anyway, now you're in. You make sure you stay in.
He will. To an Olympic gold. Cheers.
This, Lovell bloke, I saw him jump in Nottingham. Walked away with the top 2 classes. Bit untidy, but what he has got is guts.
He's really quite dishy in a dark, moody sort of way.
Lavinia. It's because he's a Romany. If he's the same Jake Lovell I'm thinking of. We were at prep school together, he and I, and Roop. His mother was the cook. Oh, Roop?
Not now, Billy boy. I'm shattered. Not sure I even have the strength to make it upstairs.
You remember Jake Lovell from Ballard House? Little Jake Lovell.
I remember Jippo Jake, all right? Why?
He's just been selected as team reserve.
Balls. After what happened to Jippo Jake, I doubt he can even walk, let alone bloody ride. Which, after an evening with Madame Duke Peru, is precisely how I feel.
No, Roop. I tell you it's true, Roop.
Billy.
Come on.
Hi.
What the hell are you doing here?
Surprise. I wanted to help you celebrate your good news.
I see. I see.
Hey.
Would you excuse me? Just a moment, please. Help me.
Why? What's the matter? She got false teeth or something? After the ball was over.
Shh. How did you know Helen was here?
Everyone knows Helen's here, Rupee.
Oh, Christ. But she's in my bloody bed, William.
Isn't that where you normally like them?
William, I have drunk the best part of 2 bottles of champagne this evening. I couldn't do it again if my bloody life depended upon it. Oh, Christ. The hell am I going to do? William!
Do you want to know what you should do? You go in there and you get down on your knees to her. Helen's a really nice girl. She's the first and probably the only decent girl to come your way. And I don't imagine there'll be another one for quite some time. So I'd get a ring on her finger as soon as possible. That's what you should do, Casanova. Come along, William.
It's the easiest 200 quid I ever had.
Where do you think you're going?
To get myself a separate room.
No, please.
I don't think there's much of a point in sharing yours.
Humpty, please. I can't explain.
What is the matter with you, Rupert? You don't know how hurtful this is.
I know, and I'm terribly, terribly sorry. You just caught me unawares, that's all.
It wasn't easy coming here, you know.
Well, I know, but I've been doing a lot of thinking since last I saw you, and I think you're right. We should wait.
Wait? What for? I came here because I wanted you to make love to me.
I can't. No. I mean, I won't. Well, there's no such word as can't, is there? What I meant was, I won't. Not now, not yet.
Not yet. When then?
When then? When we're married.
When we're married?
Oh, do stop repeating everything, Poppy.
Whoever said anything about getting married?
I did. Didn't you hear me?
Rupert, you haven't even proposed.
Fine. Well, I am now. You're a really nice girl. You're probably the first and only decent girl to come my way, and I don't imagine there'll be another one along for some time.
You're drunk, aren't you?
I told you, I don't get drunk. I want to marry you, Helen. You're far and away the nicest girl I've ever met. You're different. I don't know what makes you so different. Something does. Every time I see you, like now, standing there, looking quite utterly and absurdly beautiful. You're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. Which is why, I suppose, I want to marry you. And because it's time. And because you're the only one who slipped under the bloody wire. Here. That's until I can get you proper one, Foxy. Has sod the 200 quid.
Rupert.
Le concurrent suivant, Billy Lloyd Fox, montant The Bull pour la Grande-Bretagne. Next to compete is Billy Lloyd Fox for Great Britain on The Bull. C'est un sans faute pour Billy Lloyd Fox en 33 secondes et 34 centièmes. A clear round for Billy Lloyd Fox in a time of 33.34 seconds.
33.34 and into the lead.
Don't count your chickens, chum.
Oh, sorry, Lovell.
Jake, you okay?
Représentant la Grande-Bretagne, voici Rupert Campbell Black montant Macaulay. Next is Rupert Campbell
Amazing.
Black for Great
Don't tell me one
Britain
of you
on
sods
Macaulay.
actually spoke to him.
Come along, Mrs. Campbell Black.
You did do as I asked you to, didn't you, darling?